let's bring out our wonderful guest. He is our newest creator here at EG. You guys probably all know who he is. He is also a cat dad, which we'll be talking about for the next couple hours. Let's bring out Joshseki. Yay! I was like, oh my gosh, it's
I'm
so...
muted.
Oh, are you?
Hello,
Oh, you're not muted anymore. You're good now.
I'm here.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Lisa.
Hi. Thank you
Hi,
so much.
chat.
Thank
Hi,
you so
Lisa's
much.
chat.
Oh, this is mainly your chat. It looks there's so many people here that I'm not just now recognizing for the first time. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Wow, Josh, it's so awesome to have you here at EG and to be on my show. I
I'm
promise
super
I
excited.
promise I won't bully you. You know, I don't want to bully you in front of your chat. I'll bully you in real life when I see you next time. But I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out with me and your community and my community here at Evil Geniuses. Are you excited to join us?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. I feel like my viewers will also really enjoy this just because I'm usually only playing Valorant a lot. So I'm just super excited to just chat and get to know you. Let's chat, know more about me, and yeah.
Let's just interview me for 2 hours. It's fine. It's so funny because my chat, I mean, I guess my community watches the show like every time I have it, which so they just hear me talk about myself repeatedly the same time over and over again. And sometimes they learn new things. Most of the time it's like, yes, we've heard that story 1,000 times, Lisa. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just talk so much all the time. I just don't know what I've said before. But I do want to ask you straight up, like, how did you get connected with EG? Like, I want to hear about your story of how you joined us.
Mine was very, I feel like, the norm. I felt a conversation started with through agency, stuff like that. And then I just got to talk to, Tay and have conversations with creator collective people, mainly Tay. Shout out to Tay.
Shout out to Tay AFK.
But yeah, I not gonna lie, I did talk to a lot of orgs. Not flexing, but low key flexing. um, I did talk to a few, and EG resonated the most with me, and yeah, that's why I'm here.
It's okay. They were just like, this girl seems like she needs a job. We should hire her. It was the opposite for me. I was like, oh, an esports company actually wants me. I will take it. Like, that was me. Also, I was like very local. Like, everybody here at Evil Geniuses, if you guys don't know what Evil Geniuses is the esports organization that's, I guess, we all work for as creators, which is really fun. Like, this is
Live
definitely,
evil.
yeah, live evil. I'm wearing my live evil sweater that has already faded in color because I've worn it so many times. I It was a really different career path for me too, because like I didn't know I would be a content creator like years ago. Like I guess my sort of journey was that I was doing stand-up comedy, which is, I guess, sort of my main thing. It's more streaming now, but and then the pandemic started and I couldn't do that. So I was like, well, what can I do? And at the time, I had an anime podcast, and a lot of people who listened to it were like, you should start streaming. And I said, okay. So I started streaming, and then here I am. And now I'm a streamer, and then still trying to do comedy. And then everyone's like, when are you going to do comedy? I'm like, it's just easy for me to not leave the house. So I'd rather just stream, you know?
No, yeah, now you're comfortable at home being a streamer.
Yeah, and it's been really cool. Like EG, at least, I mean, as Plain Shane has said, like you probably know, most people know them from like the esports side of it, and StarCraft too. Yeah, that's a old call out. And they decided last year that they wanted to kind of branch into the more creative end, which, you know, a lot of organizations kind of do that because it's like you have the players and then you have the people who are like on camera and don't, like, we don't have to like spend thousands of hours training, you know, like, I mean, I know you've spent thousands of hours playing Valorant actually, but like,
Yeah, but I'm not even a professional.
yeah, but me, I spend thousands of hours telling dumb jokes, and they're like, you should do something with that. And so there you go. And so it's really cool because, like, it started with really just Taylor and I, and then Aru, who's another creator here. And then it's just kind of like we've kind of shaped how we want the creator collective to be like, which I think is really cool because we all have good heads on our shoulders. And so I'm really happy for you to be here. Like we had
Thank you.
a little while where we didn't have any new creators, and now we have a bunch of new ones, and I'm excited but also nervous because I'm like, these are new people I'm gonna have to be friends with, and I hope you like me.
We all love you. We all
I
love you.
know. And then I heard you were a cat dad, so I was like, okay, we're 100% gonna get along together because I
Yeah.
also have two wonderful cats hiding somewhere in this room. One's in the corner
Yeah,
over
my
here.
cats are asleep right now, I think.
I
Oh my
want
god, I
to.
can't wait to get into cat
I
talk.
can't wait to get where. I mean, I want to hear about your cats right now. We can deep dive right into the juicy stuff. Let's just talk about your cats.
So I have two boys. One is a tabby, an orange tabby. I adopted he was adopted last year now. Um
You have an
I
orange
was
tabby? I have an
yeah.
orange tabby.
They need to meet. Wait, how old is yours?
He is probably 3 years old. I got him. He was like, I called them dumpster cats because they were like at a shelter and we're like, just take them. But I got him in February and they said, I think he's 2 years old.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I'll take this random orange cat. But sorry, I want to hear about your tabby. I'm going to bring
No,
out
no,
mine.
it's
I'm going to
okay.
force
Yeah.
him into this room and pick him up and you're going to have to see him. But
His name's Junie, and then I have a ragdoll. And his name is Nogu, Nogu. He's a white ragdoll.
you have a
They're
rag doll?
the light of my life. I love them so much.
Oh my God, how old are they?
Junie is a year now, and then Nogu's 5 or 6 months. I could bring them down
Wake him up
probably.
right now. I'm just kidding. Wait, are those your cat emotes in the
Wait, let me
chat?
see in chat.
I see a white one and an orange one. I'm
Yeah.
assuming those are your cats.
Yeah.
I have I
I
have
didn't even.
I just made emotes for when each one of my cats pops into the chat. So the orange emote and then the tabby emote because I have a small little gray
Oh, so
tabby
cute.
who is like,
Yeah, those are the emotes.
yeah, oh my God, I love it. It's
Oh,
a
yours are so cute.
They're the Puss in
Katsu
Boots.
eyes.
Yeah. I have Katsu and Zura. They're named after anime characters. So, because
Oh, wait,
obviously,
which anime?
Gintama.
Oh, okay. I watched Gintama. I just I got busy. It was good though. I watched like the first 3 episodes. But
It is a
yeah.
commitment. You're totally fine. But there's a character named Katsura, and they call him Zura. And so I just
Mm,
changed it to Katsu and Zura, and now
that's
they're
so
my.
cute.
But I've become like that creepy cat parent. Like before, I was just like, yeah, I have cats, but now they're like my whole identity.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel like ever since just like Junie, all my entire mind is just on cats. Like, is this okay for cats? Is this food okay? I'm like always like
Plants.
doing research, like plants. Yeah, I can't even have plants in the house. Well, we can, but I just don't want to risk anything because I heard so many different kind of plants are toxic. Um,
I have one
so
plant
yeah.
that's toxic and they don't mess with them. I like tested it in the room with me and like watched my
Hmm.
cat. They don't mess with it, but they
They don't
do.
mess with it.
They don't mess with any of my plants except for one, and they keep eating the bark.
Oh no.
Like, because they're weird. Cats are weird. Like usually they're pretty instinctful. Like if they know something is bad, they won't touch it. Like I won't risk. Like I know poinsettias are really poisonous for cats, and I want them in my apartment because of the holidays, but I won't risk it. But I have one
Yeah, don't
plant,
risk it.
but they like to sit in my plants, so I have to like board them up like with like zip ties and stuff so they don't sit in my plants.
Yeah.
But really, I think it just makes them feel like they're outside because I don't have a big apartment. And I know they were originally dumpster cats. So I'm like, you guys are so used to outside in the trash. Now you're in this cozy, tiny apartment. And it's
In
so,
the trash.
and it's so funny because I originally wanted my orange cat, Katsu, and I was just planning on getting one. But I went to the shelter and they're like, just let you know, like, there's a kitten here that will only be around the orange cat. It won't be around any other cat. And we're really scared of like having that cat to be adopted and she's alone. Like, do you mind taking her? Like, we'll give you her for
Uh-huh.
free. Like it was like
Oh
buy
my
one. It was
god.
like a buy
Buy
one.
one get one
It
free.
was a buy one get one free for my cats, and so I was like, yeah, I'll take her, and then it was honestly the best decision I ever had because I traveled so much this year for like work and friends that like I just
Mhm.
felt bad. They just hang out together, you know,
Yeah.
and now before they were all so grateful for being in this. Now they pretend like they're spoiled little brats. Like they act like they own the space. I'm like,
They're apartment cats now. They're
yeah,
not
you were in a
garbage cat.
dumpster like 6 months ago. Like you have no right to yell at me for not feeding you an hour before you're supposed to be fed. Like I,
Yeah. My cats know like they know exactly when is mealtime and they'll just like they start getting like anxious before mealtime. I don't know why. They get antsy. They're like, is it coming? Is it not coming? Um but yeah, I don't know why they're like that. And also back to the bonded pair thing, like with cats, that's what I was really worried about when I got my second cat, that my first cat out that I was making a mistake. Just because my first cat, he seemed really happy um when I first got him and then just throughout, but I thought that I don't know, I just saw a lot of TikToks and like I saw a lot of people talking about how it's good for a cat to have a companion and that when they're close, they're like really close. So I'm super grateful that when I brought on the second cat, Nogu, he they like became a bonded pair fast. I
really,
know a lot
there
of
wasn't
people.
any. There was no there was no issue introducing him at all.
I read online there would be, so I just followed all the protocol, like leave them in a room
Cat
separate for.
protocol.
Yeah, I didn't know that there was like stuff like that. So because I grew up with dogs, but yeah. So apparently you're supposed to keep them in a room like separate from each other, like 3 to 5 days, um, and then let their scents like intermingle or something. So like I would grab like one of their blankets, bring it to the other, and like try to introduce the scent that way. And then when we ended up introducing them, they weren't bad. They were like confused for sure, but they got used to each other so fast and they're best friends now. It's
Oh
so
my
cute. I love them.
god. See, my orange cat was a like a kind of like a bonding cat, as they put it. Like he had been the shelter the longest, which is sad because like I'm his first home and he's almost 3.
Hmm.
So like I had a lot of
Yeah.
behavioral problems when I first got him. Like it was bad. Like he was like marking on everything and like I never had the problem before and I had people telling me like, like don't feel bad if you want to take him back. I'm like, I'm not taking him back. I'm gonna make this work, and I managed to make it work,
Yeah.
which is great. But like
That's
he
awesome.
is okay with literally anything, like a dog, like
Hmm.
except for small dogs. He's okay with big dogs, but a tiny I had my sister's Australian Shepherd over, and he just kind of was like, "What is this?" I had a
Hmm.
Shih Tzu over, and he lost it. He was like,
He
"Wait,
didn't like the Shih
this
Tzu?
thing is my size and doesn't look like me. I do not like it." Like it was like it was like such a weird reaction, but no, he's so sweet. Everyone loves him. My other cat is scared of everything except for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's terrified of everybody, but she takes a little time. Speaking of which, one just entered the room. Let me go. Actually, you want to see
Yeah, I
my
want to
you want to see
see
my big orange baby? Come on, Katsu.
Katsu.
Sorry, I had to like take him out of the blinds. This is
Oh, that's so cute.
this is Katsu. He is my big he's my big baby.
Oh, he's so cute.
I
Wait,
know.
katsu, like the food, right?
Yeah, cuz he looks like chicken, doesn't he? Like he looks like fried pork. Like he looks like fried katsu. So Matt,
Karage. Oh,
he
he's
looks
so
like
cute.
he is.
He's cuddly, right? Because he's
He's
an
very
orange.
cuddly, but right now they're in their like they just slept all day, so they're in their crazy mode.
They're
Like
like zoomy mode, yeah.
it's very funny because I'm diagnosed OCD. Like that was something I found out about 6 months ago.
Hmm.
And I'm a very scheduled person. Like I wake up, I've been a little deviant lately because the holidays, but like I usually wake up at the same time and without even an alarm. I always wake up
Hmm.
exactly at 7:45, 8 o'clock. Drink
Oh,
coffee.
so early.
I know. It's so funny when I first started working at EG. Like Taylor knows, I am so like work 9 to 5 oriented person that I'd be like, so when's
Hmm.
the next meeting? Like, Lisa, we don't have a meeting till 11 a.m. Like, well, when am I supposed to eat for 3 hours? Like, it was just
Yeah.
a very weird transition career wise. But my cats have adapted that schedule. So now if I try to sleep on the weekends, they wake me up right at 8 a.m. They're like, no, no,
Oh,
no.
really? You can't
It,
even sleep in now.
yeah. Are your cats the same way?
My cats are like if I wake up, so I wake up around like 9:30 a.m. because I start stream around 11 a.m. every day. And they'll like if I wake up at 7:30, let's say, like I randomly wake up early, then they'll wake up and start crying for food, even though they know that they shouldn't and they should be waiting another 3 or 4 hours because their breakfast is at like 10 when I start getting out of bed for stream. And they'll just whine and get up. But before that, like I don't know if other cats do this. I'm sure they do, but like they'll like sleep on top of me and like purr really loud so that I can't actually sleep.
Oh,
But like
yes.
I'm like going in and out of like consciousness. I'm like so tired. But they're like the purr. It's not like a. They're not yapping or meowing at me. They're just purring really loud because they know that I can't sleep. But like it's cute, you know. So they're just trying to like win me over, saying give me food. So I sometimes give in. Like this morning, I fed them a little early, but yeah.
Just okay, fine. My cat
Yeah, they're
is
so
like
cute.
my little tabby does this thing where I think she thinks it's cute, but she'll sit on me and she'll like drool and like give me big puppy dog eyes, but it's
Oh.
disgusting because she's just drooling on my chest and she'll sit right there and she gets all like poofy, like, "Hi, I'm so cute, feed me." And I'm like, "No, you're gross." So yeah, like, and now she does this thing because they're smart. Like at first I thought my cats were dumb. They're actually really
No,
smart.
cats are so smart.
I hate it
Yeah.
because now they get more demanding and she learned how to shut the bathroom door because they keep the bathroom door open. They shut the door and scratches at it. And then
Oh
I'll
my
I'll
God.
wake up in the middle of the night and I'll open the door and then 2 hours later she'll close it and start scratching at it cuz she knows it'll wake me up.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
conniving little scoundrels.
Here you can see her right now. There
So
she is.
cute. Oh no. Wait, what's her name?
Her name's Zura, but she
Oh, Zura.
is, yeah, as you can see, she's a little rascal. She's got really cool markings though for a tabby. Yeah,
Yeah. That's really cool. Is she tricolored
she
or
is, and she has like a really orange belly. Like that's my thing is like
oh.
I like the idea of like I wanted to get a fluffy cat, like a rag doll would have been amazing, and I had like
Yeah,
a
I
big fluffy cat, but then I ended up with these like two random like dumpster cats, and she ended up like
have.
she's like fluffy but not. Like she's got like the
Hmm.
body of a Shar Pei. Like she's like chunky all
Hmm.
over and
Yeah.
really dense fur, and I'm like this works, you know.
Yeah, Nogu, he's a ragdoll and his fur just like gets everywhere. It doesn't matter how much. If we brush him every day, like it doesn't matter. He'll like I just see like what's it called? Like tumbleweed, but a cat fur version. I just see it every
Like fur
day.
balls,
I fur
tumbleweed.
balls. Yeah, it's just like I just see it like no matter what. I vacuum every day. I'll just see it like when I'm done stream, I go get a cup of water. I'll see it like it's just everywhere. It's you can't escape ragdoll fur.
I mean, I can see a little bit on your mic right now. It's this
Yeah,
my
probably. They like to rub their faces on here. Like they rub their faces on everything to mark their territory. You can literally see it.
I have to lint roll my mic because my cats do the same thing because they want to be where your scent is the most. So
Yeah,
like
they
they
want to
want to
like.
be on your gamer chair and on your I have like a whole joke about it on stage too because my cats like to be in my bathroom when I'm using the bathroom. And I'm like,
They like to
"Why
watch you.
why are you here? Like why are you swimming around my legs like sharks?" And I like looked it up online and there's like two reasons. One, it's because they know you can't escape. Like they're like
Oh, that's
this
scary.
yeah, this person is doing their business and this is my time to rub my scent all over them. And
Hmm.
then the other one is because they like want to protect you because they know you're in a vulnerable situation, which I find the
Yeah,
funniest
I
because
did hear about that too. Yeah, the vulnerable part.
like what are cats gonna do if someone breaks into your house with like a
They're
gun?
gonna
Like,
run away.
they're gonna run away. It's like
They're gonna hide.
I bought like I'll buy like fruit. Like I usually buy like one banana at a time because like I make smoothies and stuff, but I bought like a pack
Hmm.
of bananas over summer and my cats lost their shit. They're like, "What did you just bring into this house?" And
Wait,
like they
really?
wouldn't go into the kitchen. Like to go on the kitchen counter, so they wouldn't go on there because they were scared of the bananas.
Oh my God,
I was
that's so
like,
cute.
"This is you. If you are terrified of a bundle of bananas, what are you gonna do if somebody breaks in my house?"
Yeah, cats are just not like accustomed to change. I feel like they just they just like the norm, like everyday life.
Are you planning on getting any more, or are you good with two now?
I want one. They're just so they're so cute, but they're so, I feel like just having multiple cats, like the cost goes up, and then like also it's like I don't know if it'll actually make them happier or is it just gonna make me happier, you know?
Like the more
And my
cats, the merrier.
yeah, for me, but I don't know if it would be for them. So, and also I feel like they need so much space. And people don't think that, but like cats have zoomies and stuff. And I used to live in a much smaller apartment. And I remember my cat, it would just look so sad when he would have his zoomies because he would just do like one lap around the island, like the kitchen island, and that's it. Because like, where is there to go, you know? So
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
they.
with three cats, you need like a house, not an apartment.
That's part of the reason why I didn't get a dog. Because you said you grew up on dogs, right?
Hmm.
So what made you
Yeah, I
want to
did.
switch to cats?
I hated walking my dogs. That was like the biggest thing. And then I think just for a streamer, like I think I was influenced by other streamers. Like I saw a lot of streamer friends have cats, and then I never considered it because I feel like I had a bad, like a negative experience. I think I had a negative experience with as a kid with a cat, like where it just like hissed at me. It didn't like attack me or anything.
It just
But
bullied
ever
you.
since, yeah, I was just scared of my one of my friend's cats growing up, and so I had like a negative, like I guess like conception of cats. I feel like a lot of people do. And then I just saw one day at PetSmart, I just saw a little orange tabby would call him my name and he put his little paw in the glass and then I just adopted him that day.
You're like, I
But
need it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, cats are cute. The more the merrier. I should just impulse buy one right now.
There are people though, like it, like the whole hating cats thing is real. Like I've seen that tweet where people are like, people who don't like dogs are just like, oh, I don't prefer dogs, and people who hate cats like hate cats. Like I
Yeah,
prefer cats over dogs because yeah, they just match my style. Like I'm a very introverted, independent
like staying
person.
at
Yeah,
home.
like
Yeah,
I
same.
I love dogs, but I feel bad to have a dog in my apartment because I don't have a yard. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I want goats, honestly. Like that is my favorite
Goats.
animals. I want two goats really bad when I get older and like have a house. But like, yeah, just cats in my lifestyle. But I still love dogs. And there's so many people who talk to me like, oh, you probably hate dogs. I'm like, I don't hate any animal except for
Yeah, it doesn't have to
mosquitoes.
be cat versus
I
dogs.
hate
It's just
mosquitoes and spider webs. Those are the two things I hate. Just the webs
yeah.
though, because they're gross. But now that I have cats, it's gotten to the point where it's like if I'm making food, I'm like, is that my hair or the cat's hair? Like I can't
Yeah,
tell.
no, that's such a big issue. I completely relate to that. Like I know kind of like probably gross to non-cat owners out there. I mean, I feel like that's with any pet. A lot of pets shed.
Yeah.
Cats shed a little bit more, but there's pros and cons, I feel like, to both. I think right now though, just being at home, like I'm home like all the time. Um like I don't know. I think cats are just more convenient to have too. It fits my lifestyle more staying at home.
Yeah, they also get anxiety when I leave to go to the store now because I traveled so much this year that now they just come straight to the door like, how long are you gonna be gone? Who's
Where are you
feeding
going?
us? Where are you going? Like
Where's dinner?
right. And they learned I have a couple doors zip tied in my kitchen because I know how to open them. Like the cat,
Oh,
yeah. Like,
yeah, they go like this with their paw.
oh yeah, they are sneaky. I remember it was during like I think probably when I first got them, you know, when you first get cats, especially shelter cats, you're supposed to keep them like, you know, like a couple rooms and then you kind of expand them out. And I did
Hmm.
that. Like I kept them in the bathroom and my bedroom for like the first week and then I opened them to a different room. But when they were at the end of that, they were getting really antsy. So in the middle of the night, I would hear like violent shaking, and I thought someone was breaking in. And look,
Sounds like a horror movie.
you can see a cat right behind me, actually, right there. Yeah, they
Oh,
know I'm live. Like they will
yeah.
not. If it's the middle of the day, I'm here. They don't care. But if it's this time, they're like, time to take over the stream. That's them all the time.
I think Sam said your mic's a little quieter.
Is it quiet? Is this loud now? Can you hear me? Um, it's just maybe you're too loud.
Maybe. No, that's what I was thinking. I was like, should I turn myself down?
No, I have it. Also,
Okay,
for
okay.
those who are watching this for the first time, this is the first time I'm producing this myself. So we used to have a producer for the show because it was on EG's channel. And then since EG doesn't really like it was the only show on EG's channel, so they were like, we should just move it to Lisa's channel. I'm like, all right. And so now I produce it, which is great because I like, you know, I'm the one who put EG creator and cat dad. But But now it's like I have to have people tell me if technical things are wrong. My stream is too nice to me sometimes. I would be like 3 months in, they'd be like, by the way, this whole time your mic was too quiet. I'm like, why haven't you told me? And like, I don't know, we just didn't think it was a big deal. And I'm like, I think it's a big deal. You
Yeah,
know?
no, I always appreciate when my chat or when I'm streaming, like when people tell me this and that, because I don't want to be streaming with a low mic or, a dodgy camera or whatever's going on. It's like just, I don't know, it's just embarrassing sometimes.
I tell people I had an experience once a couple years ago, more than that, a few years ago. I was wearing a belt, and this is stand up. I was wearing a belt on my skinny jeans, and before I got on stage, I looped it in, but I kept the loop like this on accident. I didn't push it in all the way, and I got
Oh
professional
no.
photos done. And there's pictures of me on stage from the side. It looked like I had like a belt boner, and I was like, why didn't anyone tell me to tuck in my belt during my set? They're like, well, we didn't want to talk to your set. I'm like, I have professionals photos of me that has my belt sticking out of my shirt, and it looks so weird. I'm like,
Oh
please
no.
tell me if something is wrong right then, right now. Like, I need to
Yeah.
know. Otherwise, I won't know. People don't know unless you say something. I am really
Yeah.
sad because I found out like my sub alert that I use, because I never upload things on Discord. My sub alert is banned from like every country because it's the Gintama theme, and it's like 15, it's like 10 seconds long. I was like, oh great, this whole time my
It
song.
hasn't been showing up.
Well, it has been. It does on, but if I upload on YouTube, it's like, oh, by the way, this is copyrighted. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
all Napster Metallica's fault from 20 years ago. I'm blaming them because I just want to play my Gintama theme on stream, but it's not a huge deal. I'm trying to get more into YouTube now, but I'm too lazy. That's really it. Do you do YouTube
Yeah.
too, or are you just Twitch?
Yeah, I post on right now mostly TikTok and YouTube, and then of course I do stream. I just take the stream content and just upload on both TikTok and YouTube simultaneously. I just reuse the content. And
Has it been easy for you to grow on TikTok as a streamer?
um, I think it hasn't been easy. It's definitely like it was very intimidating. I first started off, I had like a really negative experience in Valorant. Um, I had a really toxic guy, and he was just like, throwing slur after slur. It was a very negative guy. I felt like helpless. I was like, there's no way someone like this should be allowed to continue to voice chat without any like repercussion after this game. So I thought that was when before I started like uploading content, but that was when I just edited something real quick. I don't even edit, so it was my very first video, and I uploaded that like a year and a half ago now, or last spring. So I guess it's almost been 2 years. But
Wait, was
yeah,
that from TikTok or Valorant?
that was a Valorant video, and I posted that on TikTok. Yeah, I hadn't started YouTube or anything. I started off as a TikTok creator, and then I saw like numbers. I saw like myself getting views just from that video, and then I started uploading every single day, and
Gotta do the
like
content
multiple
grind.
times. Yeah, the content grind. I uploaded 3 times a day, trying to understand the algorithm, like every creator. Um, and then I started seeing YouTube Shorts. So I started posting on TikTok for Valorant when it was not too saturated. I feel like now it's pretty saturated with a lot of Valorant content on TikTok. Um, but yeah.
I feel like it's just like there's so many apps. Like every time I
Yeah.
like first it was obviously like Instagram, then Instagram did Reels. So I would post my stand up on Reels, and I did it on TikTok. And everyone's like, you should do YouTube Shorts. I'm like, that is just so many
Another
apps.
one.
And
Yeah.
now that like Twitch is like, how there's like that big drama with Twitter right now. Everyone's like, I also have Be Real, but I haven't posted. Yeah, just casual.
I don't
You're
know
my
what
Be
Be
Real
Real
friend.
is.
It's
I don't know what Be Real is.
you don't know
Well, I,
Be
I know of it. I thought it's like Snapchat, right? But how do you post on it? Isn't it
It's
like you
very
send?
weird. Actually, I haven't done my Be Real today. I'll do it right now.
Isn't it like you send videos to your
No,
friends?
so what it is like every day. I'm just advertising for Be Real. I just complained about how there's too many apps. I'm like, here's another one you should have. So here it is. I haven't posted my Be Real today yet. So it tells you exactly like a time every single day to post. Like it'll be like 2 minutes left to post your Be Real, and it does like a front and a side camera or in a back camera. So like this is what I'm gonna post like
Oh,
this, and you can't see anyone else's Be Real unless you posted yours that day. And I just upload a really stupid one, but I barely am like, guys, it's like I wake up in the morning, it's like emails, Instagram, like there needs to be an
there's
app.
so many.
If there's probably something like this or in the works, but there needs to be an app where all your socials are on it and just shows you your DMs. That way I can just message my DMs. That's it. Like I open up.
I think there's something like that, but only for Instagram or Facebook or something, but not
Yeah.
like
I'm not 50.
all
I
of
don't need
them.
Facebook DMs. Okay. Bullied into posting content. Yeah. It's just like, it's a lot. It's so much different because, like, how long have you been like a content like creator?
I started 2 years ago. Well, I started streaming 2 years ago. Yeah.
And that was the first thing you did was streaming?
Yeah, I did variety actually at first. I if anyone in chat has been around for that long, they'd have to be around for like 2 years. I started off with playing Among Us, um, Genshin, Minecraft. Like I just played whatever was on my mind, and then I really fell in love with Valorant, and then I became like my chat called me a Valriety streamer, and then like, but the running joke was
Variety?
that. Yeah, but the running joke was that like it's not a thing. I'm just a Valorant streamer because I never streamed any other game after Valorant. But yeah.
Wait, did you start because of the pandemic, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that was like the biggest thing.
I
Among
f-
Us.
yeah, I feel like the pandemic did a huge, like it changed social media and content forever.
Hmm.
Because I started streaming during the pandemic, but I wasn't a content creator. Like I had a podcast and I did, my stand up. But like when I first started doing stand up, there wasn't a need to like post clips, and a need to like constantly be grind. I mean, you grind to get shows, but like if I wanted to get like a headlining gig, I'd be like, "Hey, this is a YouTube video that I have, like you can see my style." And now it's like they care so much about numbers, and which is like I get that, but at the same time there's like comedians, like older comedians, veteran comedians that are like in their 50s that
Hmm.
struggle. No offense to older people that struggle like getting used to that content creation thing. It's like these are incredible comedians, but they're not getting booked as much now because they haven't gotten used to this new way of doing comedy. And like when I would go to shows, I could tell now, and I'm guilty of this too, is that people are now writing jokes that are like less than 2 minutes long because they're like, this would be good for TikTok. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
I'll,
funny. Sorry, it's funny you say that because I've been seeing so much stand-up comedy on my shorts, like on my whether it be shorts or TikTok. I don't know why. Like the
you were in
past
the
like
same
month.
room as me. That's why.
I think so. 'Cause I've been getting so much stand-up shorts and TikToks. I'm like, when did people post this many? Like, I didn't know people posted stand-up on TikTok. And then I started like, I only get the really viral ones though. I feel like I haven't seen anything like mid-size. It's always like no views or hella views, like
Yeah.
millions. But yeah.
TikTok is brutal because I had a stand up clip get 6.5 million views,
Oh wow.
which is pretty, yeah. Like all the TikTok followers I have are, I think, is from one video. Like, and like I had like three other ones get like a million. And then I was like, this is exhausting because like I don't want to post all my material online because then people come out to see my show and they'll already know the jokes. Like it's different
Yeah.
than like streams or like music because it's like I can listen to a band do the same song over and over again. I'll love it. But like jokes, it's like the
Yeah, it's gotta
laughs,
hit.
it has to be authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of over the whole uploading stand up. I started uploading gaming stuff. Oh, it went from 6 million views to 900. Like, it's like no one gives a shit because it's like the algorithm has already pushed me towards comedy and now I'm trying to change it. And it's just like, it's brutal. But
Yeah.
Instagram, I think is a little more forgiving as far as that goes. But it's interesting to learn as I go.
Yeah. For me, I think I've been seeing a lot of success on TikTok and YouTube, but Instagram Reels, I think, is doesn't really like I don't think I don't know if they're pushing out so much gaming content. Like even when I'm scrolling on Instagram Reels, I never see gaming content. And whenever I upload, I feel like I see a lot of people's reels. it's like relative to their following, not like as explosive as TikTok, whether you
Yeah.
have 0 followers. Like Instagram, it's always like there's always like a correlation with the numbers with the person, like their follower count. I from what I've seen so far, but instead of being so like TikTok where anyone can blow up, or like YouTube Shorts where your video can get a ton of views with no following, you know?
Yeah,
But
my Instagram blew up a lot this year, and then I realized none of that mattered because I was like, I'm not getting any. I got an extra maybe $500 from Instagram since I gained whatever 1,000 followers. Like, I got
yeah,
$7 from TikTok. That was pretty nice. I got 16 bucks the other day from them. That
let's
was really
go.
nice. You know,
Free
like,
meal.
yeah, right. They're not barely a free meal. It's a coffee and a pastry. I haven't done
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts yet, but it's just the whole thing where it's like, I'm creating a video, but like, okay, I gotta do one for TikTok, I gotta do one for this and one for that, and then it's like, oh my god, like at this point, it's like, do I want to keep doing this? Like,
A lot,
and
yeah.
like, yes, you do, because like there's a lot of people out there who's like, I don't understand content creation, but what they don't realize is that like the influencer, and I hate that term, like influencer, I guess, community and industry is so big now because everyone is incredibly on the internet. Like
Yeah.
everybody is on the internet. So it's like before, if you want to discover like an actor, an actress, or a celebrity, like they were found through an agency, or like they went to school for it, and like it was word of mouth networking. And now it's like you just go to someone, they got a big following, which means bigger audiences, and then brands are like, this is free advertising for us if we just send them
Yeah.
shit, you know? It is weird. It's definitely something I'm still learning about, and I'm sure you are as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure before you were a content creator that, that wasn't your goal in life. Like,
Yeah.
what were you doing before that?
So before content creation, I was working. So 2020 is when I graduated from college, and then I had a job as a software engineer for 2.5 years, and then I did software engineering while juggling content creation, and that was the biggest struggle. I think
Yeah. Oh gosh.
that was the hardest part, and then that was especially when I was like on my content grind and editing. I was editing all my own content. It was just a lot. But we got through it. We're here. But yeah,
You're
that's
still alive. You're still
we're
okay.
still alive.
Do you need
But yeah,
help?
I was a software engineer, and then I quit a few months ago, now like 3 or 4 months ago. So yeah, software engineering I think is a great occupation. I think it's, especially if you're passionate.
I love how you said that. I think it's a great occupation.
I think the schooling is, I think it's just so much schooling, and then like not so much, but then like once you get it, it's like always constant learning, which is great for you. You know, it's good for someone to keep learning.
Software engineering is an occupation.
Yeah.
It's
It was
yeah.
it was fun while it lasted. I definitely think I'm a lot happier as a content creator now.
Well,
That's
also
all.
it's like software engineering, like any sort of like tech position like that is a good skill to have because it's a constant growing field. But I mean,
Yeah.
if that it's like, yeah, you went to school, you worked, you did it, and now you're like, I'm ready to move on. And that's totally okay. I mean,
Yeah.
before each, I was always working freelance jobs and like just whatever random work from home job I could get so I could work on things on the side before
Hmm.
I got with EG. But I just ended up quitting my, I did the worst thing a 31-year-old daughter could do to their parents is I called them up at the beginning of last year. I said, hey, guess what? Well, I quit my job. And they're like, why? I'm like, because I don't want to work anymore. Also, I'm moving back home. But I'm gonna keep streaming and I'm gonna be making money. I'm just not gonna work. And they're like,
Were
okay.
they down?
They were like, all right,
Really?
as long as you have a plan. I'm like, I have a plan, trust me, which is like what every person who stays at home in their 30s says. I'm like, I got a plan, don't worry. And then I got hired like 2 months later. And I was like, I had enough money, like doing freelance stuff, which I'm grateful for, to pay for rent. But I was like, I want to have money. So I just moved back
Yeah.
home with my parents, was streaming
Save on
out of their
rent.
garage. It's fine. It was haunted. And now it's great because having a support like EG, it's like you can spend the time, not just sitting here grinding for content. You can actually like relax and do things like outside of, because people don't realize how much work this is. Like I used to work like shifts working in a milk cooler and driving a forklift at a grocery store for 10 years. It wasn't nearly as exhausting as this. Because back then I didn't have to look cute, wear makeup, and be in a good mood. I could just show up, do my job. It went by quick and left. And now it's like using the creative part of your brain is a lot. It's exhausting. And I've had so many people tell me that I don't, because men are just mean to women on the internet. Like, you don't have a real job, blah, blah. Like, I'll be like, I'm tired. Like, from what? Sitting there and being on Instagram? Like, yeah, it's exhausting. Being on Twitter all day is a job, like, and now I just feed the trolls. They're like, I've had people tell me, you don't have a real job. You just fucking post things online and get views and stuff. I'm like, yeah. And it's a lot of work. That's a job. Yeah. You do it. You have a good time doing that. Okay. But no, it's great. And I'm very grateful for it. And now it's like, I can do other things like produce comedy shows and play games I don't want to stream off stream. Like I've become that person where it's like, I'm streaming this, but I also want to play this game. So this is my off stream game. Like this is
your hobbies, I guess. Like
my hobbies. Yeah. But you mainly just do Valorant, right?
Yeah, I play other games off stream. I've been enjoying Fortnite again. Overwatch. I don't play Valorant off stream. That's what I tell myself, and that's what I've stuck to for like the past 2 years. Is I don't want to burn myself out, and playing Valorant every single day, 4 hours a day is just like
my stream wants me to play Fortnite.
Really?
Yeah.
You should play. It's really fun.
I can't do first person, so that would be perfect for me. Because I get
zero build.
Yeah.
Because that's how I got into it. Because the whole building aspect was a little too much. It was like intimidating, and that's the reason why I didn't install it. And then I saw the zero build, and I was intrigued because it's like you don't need that building element if you're like good at shooting games in general. It's like you kind of already have an edge. But I felt like I was going in at a disadvantage, not knowing how to build.
Well, also,
I do want to eventually learn it, but
the building part too, I would just see a bunch of mean 12-year-olds online be really good at it because their reaction times are way better than me. Like, like I'm not 12
They're playing
anymore.
On controller. Yeah.
Right? I'm like, I'm not 12. I don't have that fresh brain that wasn't ruined, in high school. Like, and children are mean. I am scared of children. So I didn't want to play Fortnite because I'm like, a kid is going to bully me and I'm going to hate myself. Because I let a child get to me.
I think Fortnite kind of started that negative connotation of kids on the internet with like on video games. Because I like people call you like people call them like Fortnite kids, and I think Valorant I actually don't meet too many like annoying kids. Like they get bullied so much on Valorant that like they like are afraid to speak up, and I feel bad almost because I don't know, they're just kids,
Now, this is coming from someone who, honestly, I don't play any first-person shooters because just in general, first-person games, after like 20 minutes, it gives me a headache. It's just like, I think it's a vision thing. And also, I'm just really bad at aiming. Like, my community's been watching me try to play Resident Evil with a gun, and I'm playing Last of Us, and there's a gun, and I'm like, don't give me a gun. Give me a sword. Like, I'm just not good with guns. Like, from my understanding, like, Valorant is probably one of the easiest to get into if you're not into first-person games, like shooting games.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, because there's ones where it's like I played... For a work thing, I played a little bit of CS:GO. Like I had like Tarek, who used to be one of our creators, like walk me through it. And I was really like, I was only good because he did everything and I just moved my hand. But I was like, if I want to get into this, like this is too much. Like I can't just go into a game and just be like, all right, have fun. Like I can't. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like that's what always throws me off about competitive games is like I need like an intro. I need a brief. I need like a tutorial. Like I need a level first. Like I can't just learn from death. Like I've tried playing PUBG. It was just because my old roommate played it a lot and wanted me to play with him one night. And I went in and I was like, I died before I even learned how to use a gun. And he was like, yeah. You drop and then you play. I'm like, what if you don't know how to play? He goes,
You need structure.
yeah, like I need.
Yeah, I mean, when I started Valorant, it was my had played like I had dabbled in Overwatch, so Valorant like barely. So Valorant was like one of my very first FPS games, and that's how I felt. I felt really overwhelmed, and then Valorant is a very voice comm heavy game, which is also scary, but also it's a lot of content, right?
Hit or
Because you meet
miss,
like
yeah.
yeah, you meet like different kinds of people every single day. So Valorant is probably in my opinion, one of the less intimidating games, well, FPS games to start off in. It is scary though, for sure, starting out.
Scary. It's like a horror game, but with real people. It's
Yeah,
yeah. Did you have you made? I mean, I know like so many people like they build communities around it. Have you made a lot of friends from playing Valorant?
I have. I think just being a Valorant streamer, like I think the Valorant community has a lot of like collaboration just in general. I think the streamers are very open to playing with new people and playing in different rank. I mean, like finding people with like similar ranks as you, getting a squad together. I feel like that's a big part of Valorant, and it's a lot of fun. And I've personally made a lot of friends from it. I mean, obviously, my entire community, we all share a love for Valorant.
Oh,
And not just that, but like also just friends. And I've made a lot of content creator friends through it. It's a game where I feel like you can either meet like your best friend or
your
your
worst
worst
enemy.
enemy. Yeah, literally.
Do you ever get really angry? Like I would be curious to watch. I mean, for you, you seem like such a sweet person. Like I can't imagine you getting angry at a
I
game.
get, I just, I, for me, I get angry internally and then I stop myself. I'm like, this is a video game. I try not to,
You're
but
not like me yelling like, "God damn it, you piece of shit!" Like,
sometimes there have actually been moments on stream where like some people are just really mean. And when I
yeah.
first started Valorant, I wasn't used to it. And there was just there. I remember I was playing Split. You probably don't know what that means. It's a map. It's a map on Valorant. I just remember this distinct moment. I was on a site, and then like I just had a Reina who was just going to town, like wishing death upon like everyone around me, like just it was just a lot. And then I think when I first started streaming, like my TikTok following was growing, so I wasn't used to having like a an audience to stream to, or like a bigger audience than what I was used to. And I didn't know how to react on stream, you
You're just
know?
like,
Being called all these things in front of all these people, and I was just really shaken. And that was when I was like, wow, this could be a really toxic game, you know?
yeah, I rage quit all the time. I have no shame on stream. I think that was just years of stand up comedy because like I would get hecklers or I'd always get for years it's just being a woman and it just you're not a real comedian, like people only book you because you're a girl, blah blah blah. Like I just dealt with so much of that harassment that like transitioning into streaming was just like, oh, it's fine, it's whatever. It's just harassment, but I don't have to see it in person, I just see it online, so I just keep that in my
Yeah.
head. I get more mad at myself playing games than anyone else, but I've always wanted to dip into a competitive game just to see what the atmosphere would be like and how I would handle it. I'm like, this is like a real life roasting right now, like I would do that.
You should start off with Valorant. I'm
Right.
not a bias.
Yeah, right.
I'm no bias here, but I mean, I just told you how toxic it is, but I honestly think it's a great game to make friends, and it's a great game to like so many people, EG staff play Valorant, you know.
Oh
You could always
yeah.
start off with EG staff,
I'm
yeah,
gonna,
or
I'm
like EG
gonna, I'm
peeps.
gonna
We could play together.
shoutcast and a Valorant tourney with coworkers in like a couple weeks. And I'm like, that's gonna be so funny to watch me try to come up with the lingo of Valorant. I'm like, oh look, he shot a guy. Oh, that guy's down. Like that's gonna be me. That's gonna be like my mom trying to shoutcast something. Like it's
It'll be
just
fun. It'll be fun.
like I always have this joke, like my parents don't do it anymore, but my mom when I first started streaming would watch my streams, but she wouldn't comment, she would just text me, like because she didn't want to make an
Uh-huh.
account. So like I'd end a
Yeah.
stream and she'd be like, who's that guy, he's hot, like talking about a video game character, and she'd be like, oh my god, so violent, like that's like, and I'm like, that would be me commenting on Valorant. It's just be like, oh my god, oh wow, he's gone,
This
he's
person
dead.
shot.
Oh my god, this
Yeah.
person's so mean, you know.
I think that'd be gold content.
I've told everyone at work who's watching right now, if you guys want me to play more competitive games, you guys are gonna have to set it up for me because I am not going live and getting bullied by 11-year-olds. I'm sorry. Like
You could a lot of people five stack on Valorant to avoid that issue, so you don't have to deal with hearing, like, especially when you're streaming, like hearing, someone berate you or like just be rude to you is not doesn't feel great, and also like it's in front of your viewers. It's just a very iffy. So I know a lot of streamers like to five stack. So you don't have that chance of a random
so
being rude
I have someone else defending me. Hey, don't
yeah,
be mean to Lisa.
yeah.
It's her first time. Like,
Yeah.
what made you want to get? Because I'm assuming you played video games before Valorant, right?
Yeah, so I was a League of Legends kind of guy. I played
Oh.
for like 9, 10, like 8 to 10 years, somewhere around there. And then Valorant came out. It was so different from League. So I didn't get into it immediately. So I didn't fall in love with Valorant immediately. It was like a gradual thing, I would say. Like after a few times.
Yes, another toxic. Yes, another wholesome community. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, wait. So do you still play League then?
I do for fun, just off stream late at night. If I'm feeling a game, I'll get on with friends or solo queue. League solo queue is not fun, by the way. I don't recommend. But I still think League, a lot of people argue about this, but I think League is less, it's not less toxic than Valorant. It's just, it hurts less to see it on the screen than hear someone screaming that at you. So
Well,
because like League does have voice comms, but I
I
think
think it's a
that's
hit or
my,
miss, honestly, with
yeah,
any competitive game, you're gonna get assholes. Like, it's just like,
yeah.
it's anything. It's like people go places where it's like, where can I be an asshole and I won't have to feel any repercussions for it? And it's like video
Hmm.
games is like the
It's the
number one
internet.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Internet, video games. So it's like, yeah, like League, yeah, you probably will have a bad time at some point, but like
At
it's
some point.
it's gonna be like that with any game you play online.
Do
It's
you
gonna be
play League?
no.
Oh.
I want to though, but that is more intimidating to me than any game because like that for me it's like at least I understand like the basic concept of like first person shooting, but like I've never played a game like League before. So it's like I would have to learn everything.
very yeah, it's very overwhelming at first, but then when you start picking it up and then you're just playing with friends, it's like the ultimate game.
And
It's so fun.
I also have told people like you could put 1,000 hours and it'd still be terrible.
Yeah.
That sounds like my
And I
type of
feel
game.
and I feel like if I were to start, like if I had never played League before and someone was telling me, like I just think there's so much negative, like people talk the worst about League, and especially the people who play it. Just
Right?
because it's like they don't want someone else to experience it and be so addicted to a game, but then like it's just good. It's when it's good, it's really good. I'll say
Maybe this
that.
whole time they're just gatekeeping it. They're like, actually, this whole time we find out there is no such thing as a toxic community. It's just the players
In
have
League.
all bonded together and being like, let's just tell people that people are mean when you play this game, so nobody plays it. Like
They're
it's
all
like
gatekeeping
it's
League of
like it's like a
Legends.
secret bond all these competitive gamers have. I get it. It's fine. Which is so funny because there's so many different types like of video games and it's like I play a lot of solo games obviously like
Mhm.
I really love like the Dark Souls games. Like that was one big ones I got into this last year. And then I was like, what other games will make me suffer? Like I just like the idea of being frustrated when I play video
Mhm.
games at myself. It's just like a weird challenge I like to give myself. And so I like playing games that are like that. And now I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and playing horror games, which I hate. I hate them. I hate all of them. But I'm going to
Yeah.
keep playing them because my
I am
chat.
not a big fan either of horror
Nope.
games.
I have the reaction time of a stoner. I tell people that. Like, if someone jumps out and kills me, I'm dead. I love horror movies because I don't have to control the person in the scene. But if I'm standing there and a zombie comes out and screams at me, I'm gonna flip out and die.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Like I started playing The Last of Us and I'm like, oh, this is a survival horror game. If this was real life, I'd be dead. Like I would have died in the first scene of the game. Like I would have been
Yeah.
gone. Like
I don't
but
do a horror game.
right? But it's so funny because like I have most of my friends who I grew up with played competitive games. So I kind of didn't have a lot of gamer friends because we all grew up playing like Nintendo, PlayStation. And then when Halo came out, like in high school, everyone was into that. And I wasn't because I
Yeah.
didn't have an Xbox. So it's like we drifted apart. And I'm still friends with
Hmm.
all those friends. So when I stream, they're like, when are you going to stream this? When are you going to stream that? Like, and they'll still say things like, you're not a real gamer. And I'm like, you have zero concept on how big
Oh
video
wow.
games are. Like, if you think I'm not a real gamer because I'm playing like Bloodborne and not like Halo,
Valorant.
you have no idea what you're talking. Like, there's so many different types of games. Like, I am envious of people who can play hours of Animal Crossing and make their village not look like a dumpster fire. Like, I put 300 hours in that game and my village still looks like shit. I'm like, how are people? What is up with everyone having
I love
beautiful,
Animal Crossing. Yeah,
right?
I'm bad at it too, though.
Yeah, like
I,
I
mean, I
just
guess
have.
you can't be bad at it, but I just
Oh, you can be
my
bad at
island looks
it.
bad.
I came back like a year later and all my villagers were pissed at me. They're like threatening me. They were like, excuse me, where were you? There's cockroaches in my house. There's like a
Someone
pile.
said Guitar Hero God tier Lisa.
Okay,
Is there a story behind that?
they probably know. I used to be the best at Guitar Hero. Like
Like the best,
the best
or
in the small group of friends that I had. I played it on expert. It was okay, but
I was so bad at Guitar Hero.
that was also when I was 16 and had the reaction times and the like now I have probably carpal tunnel and rhythm games make me nauseous with how they move. So
Yeah.
I'm probably not as good as I used to be, but that was my shit forever. Was
Do you
being
play Genshin since you like solo games?
okay. I know. I'll
No.
so say, but the only reason why I haven't is because I know I'll get addicted to it. Like there's
Oh,
some
okay.
things. Are there ever things that you do that you won't do because you know it'll be bad for your health? Like I'm sure it's great,
League
but
of
I'm not gonna
Legends.
get into it. Like
I
do
think
you,
when I played League of Legends,
yeah.
like competitively, and I was like obsessed, I would play like 12 hours a day and try to get diamond or whatever the rank. Like I think that's probably when I knew something's bad for me,
Right?
but yeah.
Do you watch anime at all?
I do. I'm a big
Oh,
anime fan.
what kind of anime do you like?
Huge. I like all like I think
How are we an hour in? I haven't even asked you about anime.
yeah, I mean I watch anime. I used to watch like an anime a day, like in high school, college. I think high school I liked what is it called? Like coming of life or
Slice of
slice of
life.
life. Slice of life. I would love slice of life growing up, and then I don't know, I just like everything. Like action, romance, like comedy. Um I also grew up watching
Coming of age and slice of
Coming
life.
of
That's
Age.
probably
I'm sorry.
the coming of life.
Coming of life.
Slice of
Oh God.
age, it's fine.
Yeah. Slice of life. But yeah, I liked everything. I liked Sword Art Online. I don't know if that's controversial.
Kind of.
Um,
It's fine. The whole entire genre of anime is some sort of controversy. So,
I'm a huge isekai lover. I That's probably also controversial.
wow, I
I
wouldn't have
just eat
expected
up
that.
I eat up every one, like every isekai, even if like the reviews are trash. I just watch it. I don't know why. I just have to.
I
I
think
have to be
there.
updated on isekais.
I think there is a special. Isekai is very interesting because so many of them are based off light novels, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you knew this. I looked this up because I used to have an anime podcast and we did a whole episode on an isekai. And the reason why they always have such crazy names, like I was reincarnated into
Raphtalia.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's because they sell them as novels. And so they have to have very specific titles in order to sell. Because like manga, it's
Um,
usually like, oh my God, this looks cool. Like this character looks cool. But since they're novels, they're like, how do we? So they would have very specific titles. Like I was reincarnated as a vending
as a
machine.
sl-
Like, yeah,
yeah.
like because that was how they. So it's very funny as someone who isn't into anime, and then you talk about stuff like that. Like, why is didn't they? Couldn't they just
Why is
shorten
it?
that name? Like,
Yeah, but I swear when growing up, like names weren't like that. Like it wasn't so weird. Like nowadays, it's like ever since like I don't know, reincarnation of a slime. Like there's just a lot of weird
it's
names,
because they have
animes where it's
so
like
many,
it's
and it's
embarrassing to say the English translation at this point. So like I don't know. Like I think like Spy X Family is cute, and then I don't know. There's just so many weird names out there these days.
well, it's also because more anime has been made in the last 10 years than ever all before.
Yeah.
Like it's just the medium itself has like blown up. And as far as the isekai like genre is gone, there's only so many types of isekai you could have. Like I was a
Yeah.
huge fan of ReZero. Did you ever
Hmm.
get into that one?
I watched it when it came out, and then I forget everything about it though.
Well,
But I
that's
did
not.
watch it.
But it's one of those things where it's like so many of them are so dialogue heavy because they're based off novels. So like
Hmm.
unless it captures me because of the base plot, like I'm probably not going to keep watching it because I'm like I don't want to read. Like, I'll just read the book if I got to read this
Yeah.
much, you know. So you like okay.
What kind of anime do you like?
Well, I love Gintama, we talked about, but I also do you ever watch Mob Psycho 100?
I gave it a try.
Oh
I,
God.
I gave it like 4 episodes, and then I don't know. It's the same thing with I don't. Do you know
JoJo's,
JoJo?
yeah, JoJo's Bizarre
Yeah.
Adventure. I love JoJo's.
Like people talk such good. It has such. So many people say good things about it. And then I tried it, and I gave it like 5 episodes, and then I just couldn't get through it either. I don't know
Which
what I
is
was doing wrong.
fine.
Yeah. I
It's not
mean,
for you. Like so many people get offended. You're like
I know.
offended if you don't
I
like
mean,
what they like. Like
yeah, I get like that sometimes.
you're like,
Like,
wait, you don't like Sword Art Online? I watched it, okay. But like
yeah.
like I love sports anime. Like that was a big one I
Oh,
got.
me too. Me too.
My favorite sports anime of all time is Run with the Wind. Have you seen that yet?
The running one.
The running
It's
one.
well, obviously, but it's like the high school kid. I watched it. I watched it from beginning to end. I remember watching it.
The college
The
kid.
college students, and they all
Yeah.
like live in a house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite one of all time. And
Really? Did you
yeah.
try if you like that one, you'll like the archery one?
Oh, Surene?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
I
it?
watched that.
Surune, I think. Oh, it was
Yeah,
good, right? I like
I
that one.
liked it, but it was so funny because like the reason why I loved Run with the Wind so much is because like the theme really resonated with me because I was like really really active physically. I kind of gave up
Oh,
for a
okay.
while because I was like depressed, and then the whole like we're not the underdogs, we're not the prodigies, like we're just normal people. And I was like, oh, I love that. And so many people were like, oh, I didn't like it, and I'm like, that's fine. And then like I'm not gonna get
I
mad
liked
at
it.
you, but like
Yeah.
people do, they get pissed, like you don't like blah blah blah, well you have trash taste. I'm like, we are literally different people with different experiences, like we don't
Yeah.
have to like the same things. But
I just joke around, but like I think it's weird to get like personally offended, but I think
sometimes
if
I'm like,
you
how could you not fall in love with Reagan from Mob Psycho 100? Like that is my
who is that?
he's
Which one
this
is
guy
that?
on my head.
Oh, the guy who gives out the jobs,
Yeah,
I
the
think.
scam artist that
Yeah.
underpays Mob. He's amazing.
Yeah. I I don't know. Mob Psycho and JoJo were not bad for me. I just didn't feel like, I didn't have the will to finish it. I think though, like what you said about Run with the Wind, I think that's the thing with anime. It's like if you really resonate with it, or like whatever, but this is with any show. Like if you're like having a tough time, or you're something, it just brings you back a good memory or whatever. I just think that we have a positive connection to that anime, and you just like
Yeah.
you love it. And I don't know. I think I what's an anime like for me? I grew up watching Detective Conan. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I never got into. That's another thing too. That is like Genshin to me because Detective
Oh,
Conan
okay,
is
okay.
so long
It's so long,
that
but
I'm like,
it's so
good for
worth
you.
it. Like
I don't
when
have
I
a
tell
1,000
you,
hours to get into it.
that's true. I mean, I think when I was in the high school, and like I even watched it throughout college, like it's just a show that has a lot of nostalgia for me, and it's still ongoing. Yeah, someone in chat said they're still making those. Yeah, so I think the manga is still going too, so they still have a bit of life left. But like it's crazy because they started, I think, in 1997. I think that's before I'm
It's
born. I
bigger
was
than
born.
my One Piece too.
Yeah, and it's been around forever. And in Japan, if you go to Japan, like they have so much like still advertisement for it, and people still love it. And I don't know if it's because it's truly great content that there's like how much content could you possibly come out with, for that many amount
It's
of
like
years? I feel like
Pokemon too. It's like
yeah, I think a part of it is just nostalgia, and I love all those episodes, and I just remember growing up watching it all the time. So I feel like that's why I love it so much too. But that's just like with a lot of animes. Wait, I'm curious about more from you. Like, what other animes you like? Like
I was
maybe we'll
gonna
have one
say,
we actually like both of us like.
I was gonna say too. Someone mentioned that there's a town named after Conan. My friend lives in that town, and there's Conan everywhere. She just
Oh.
teaches English there. I forgot the name of the town, but like There's
Hmm.
Conan everywhere. Like
Yeah.
their
I.
mascot is
Mhm.
Detective Conan, which is so funny because it's like to them that's like Luffy, Gintoki, and Conan are like the Mickey Mouses of Japan. Like
Yeah. With the
that's the same. That's
Pokemon,
the same with
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Gintama. I never recommend Gintama to anyone because I'm like this is a commitment and a very acquired taste, and like I don't think a lot of people can get into it. It's not easily digestible for people who are casual anime watchers because there's so much world building. It's not like One Piece where it's like they're pirates on a ship. This is like there's like 50 characters that are equally focused on, and then something
I
happens and it
love
gets,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
I want to give Gintama a try because I mean another try
I mean, if you
because
like slice of life, it's very slice of life for about
yeah, that's
100
why. And I like
episodes.
building on characters. I like, yeah, it's on my wish list. Like Louise said, I really, I want to get into it. And it's not like that I stopped it. I think I just started it when I was really busy, but I do really want to, because I've heard so many good things about it.
I would say too, I have every one of my favorite anime is tattooed on my body somewhere. Like I have Hunter
What
x
else is
Hunter.
there? Hunter x Hunter, classic,
I
so
have
good.
Killua on my arm.
Kidora,
I
oh my
went to
God.
I went to Japan.
That's sick.
Yeah,
You went to Japan for that?
I went to Japan for this one, which was really great. I have Gintoki and Hijikata up here. I have a Run with the Wind quote on my leg. I have a mom
Oh,
on my, yeah,
you
like
really like Run with the Wind.
yeah,
Wait, Run with the Wind, when did that come out?
that was 2018. It's not that old.
Oh, yeah, it's not that.
I
I
have
remember
the
watching it like on Crunchyroll, yeah.
I have the mountains of Hakone are the steepest in the world tattooed on my leg, right where
I don't
height.
know why, but you give me Inuyasha vibes. Like you like Inuyasha.
It's funny. I actually never watched Inuyasha, and Aru's obsessed with Inuyasha
I
because
love
when I was
Inuyasha.
a
It's so
kid,
good.
it was Cardcaptor Sakura, Ramna, Sailor Moon, and Pokemon. Those were like my go-to.
I watched Cardcaptor Sakura. Wait, no, I'm thinking of the wrong one.
But it used to be called Card Captors when it was first localized in the U.S. because they censored 90% of it. And then I rewatched on Netflix. I was like, wow, they literally changed the entire show. Like, I mean, do you mind me asking how old you are?
24. Gonna be 25
24.
soon.
Okay, so we're kind of generation. I'm 33, so
Mhm.
I'm old enough to be your mom. No, just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but like I grew up anime in the 90s, where like for kids viz, like all the localization was very like censored because it was like
Yeah.
the big anime bloom was like the 80s, and the 90s are like, okay, we want to bring this more to Western audiences, and so they localized and cut so much of it. Like I'm rewatching Pokemon right now, like the original,
From what you see. Oh, like
like
which
Indigo League.
oh, that's the
And I
best.
forgot that fucking God,
Rock?
Brock. I almost said Ross for some reason, like Friends, but Brock has the onigiri and he calls it jelly filled donuts, and I'm like, I forgot how silly the localization was for these shows. Like
Oh,
same thing
yeah.
with Sailor Moon, like giving them all American names, and like they made it more like way less dark, more like high school drama ish. And then I rewatched in
Mhm.
Japanese. I was like, this is like a completely different series. So it is crazy.
Oh,
Yeah. So now like
Inuyasha was on that one uh like late night program. Like that's how they would push, I feel like anime. What's that one show? And not show, that one like I guess it's not important, but there was this one TV network I feel like that was kind of pushing Adult Swim, yeah. And they it would like Inuyasha would be on there late at night.
yeah,
Um
they had
that's I
the
feel like that's what you're talking about with like them pushing back then, like
Toonami
or
stuff. Yeah.
Toonami, yeah.
Yeah. They was like, I remember that was in order for me to watch that stuff though, we had to rent the VHSs. Like
Oh, I remember that,
I
yeah.
have the Sailor Moon VHSs and the Ramna VHSs still at my parents' house, and they were like
Oh my God. They're probably
20.
worth something now.
Oh, they might be, but they were like $40 back then for 5 episodes.
Back then.
Like it was
Yeah.
hard to watch anime. So there was like a good 10 years where I didn't watch really anything, and then I got into Naruto. And then that kind of
Oh,
restarted all of it for me. And Naruto was like my big out of all I feel like everyone has their big like out of the big 3, what was yours? Was it Bleach, Naruto, One Piece?
I started so I had this group of kids I would always hang out with when I was younger, and they were obsessed with Naruto, and I never understood it. Almost to the point where we stopped being friends. Like I was like, I don't understand it. Why are we watching like these
Why
cartoons
do
all
you
the
keep
time?
saying
Like,
believe it every sentence?
why are you doing those weird things with your hands? Like I don't
Date
care about
bio.
this.
I used to be able to do the hand thing. So
Yeah, like
annoying.
and then like I got into it. Of course, I bit my like that was my first anime where I like was like obsessed, and Naruto like opened the gate basically to everything for me. It was just crazy. Naruto was mind-blowing for me. It was just like there was no show at the time. I feel like even like not anime. It was just very so intricate and so many details, and like I always thought that stuff was like fascinating as a kid, like when they were talking about like chakra and stuff
Oh
like that. I don't know.
yeah,
I was just like as a kid I was just like fascinated. So
like the
I
world
felt like it
building.
yeah, the world building aspect, and it was just very intense and very intricate, like I said, unlike a lot of animes that are coming out these days.
Well, like at the time too, the only thing we had equivalent was like Avatar. Like that was the Western
Yeah.
equivalent to that was Avatar. And then everything else, it was like, yeah, like we had like the regular like Batman Beyond cartoons and like Ninja Turtles and stuff, but there
Cartoon
wasn't any,
Network.
yeah, there wasn't anything like Naruto where it was like, this is just like, this is a massive, like
Yeah.
intense story. And that was my, I guess, gateway back in the anime. I watched it a lot when I was a kid, and then throughout high school, it was just so hard. It was like I had to watch an episode 3 parts on YouTube in 2008, though, when
Yeah,
YouTube was
back
like
then.
was
If you were
not
an anime
good.
fan back then, you were like a dedicated anime fan
Yeah,
because I feel like
anime
it was
fan.
hard.
You kids got it so easy these days. Back in
No,
my day.
seriously though. Back in my day, no. It was just very hard. Like I remember what you're talking about, like the Naruto episode 345 part 1, but it's in
A and
Spanish.
B.
And I'm like we're like I can't understand it.
I watched
So
the
it was hard,
Naruto and
yeah.
Sasuke fight as a Linkin Park AMV
Oh my God.
before. But yeah, that was mine. And then I think I started watching like seasonal anime. I watched anime every single season since 2015. So since
Ooh.
2015, I probably have seen over like 200 to 300 just seasonal anime, which is
Do
a
you
lot.
think you're do you like have I feel like these days I just haven't I feel like anime is like I feel like I need something an anime that like sits me down and like makes me want to watch it these days, and
It's
I've
hard.
it's hard. Yeah, I used to be able to just like play anything and just like watch it and be like, "Eh, it was pretty good." But now like I feel like as an adult, like I just have less and less time. So like it needs to be worth my while to like sit down and watch it these
It's
days. And
streaming, honestly. Because before
yeah.
I was a streamer, my evenings were spent watching anime and like going to comedy shows, and comedy would be like an hour, maybe 2 hours of my day. Now streaming's like my nighttime, and when I'm done, I'm like, I don't want to look at a screen because I just played video games for 4 hours. So like I would
Yeah.
just do something else. And yeah, it is hard. Like that's pretty much the only reason why I watch seasonal now is because I'm like, oh, I can just watch like an episode or two a night. And like right now, I'm watching the most amount of seasonals I think I've ever watched in
What are
years.
you watching right now? Give me some recommendations.
Let's see. Let me pull out my list because I literally write them down because like that's the only way I can keep track. Right now, I'm watching Mob Psycho 100 season 3, obviously. Chainsaw Man, which is really good because I've read the
Chainsaw
manga.
Man's good. Pretty good these days.
I'm watching Golden
Yeah.
Kamui season 4, which like 10 other people are watching. It's so good, but sadly has been not received promotion that deserves. Blue Lock, which is the soccer one that Taylor and I were
Yeah.
talking about earlier. I'm watching Spy Family, and I'm watching the new Gundam Witch of Mercury because I got really into Gundam lately, like building them. Like I've built
Do you like
4
uh
in the last month.
oh, wait, really?
Yeah, I got really obsessed with building Gunpla. Like that's my new hobby. So now I'm watching the new Gundam weekly, and it's damaging.
Ooh, that's cool that you can like connect the two though. Like
Yeah, but it's
the
also
connect
just giving me a reason to spend money. Like that's why I won't play
True.
Genshin. Is that the OCD obsessive part of me would take over, and then I'm just losing hours of my life.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel that.
but Gundam's really cheap, so it's really easy to get into, which is nice. But that's everything. I plan to get back into My Hero Academia this season 6, but my problem is that I read a lot of manga first, and it doesn't give me the excitement as much to watch anime. Like, I love Chainsaw Man manga and I'm excited to watch the anime, but I don't feel obligated to watch it because I know what's gonna happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you've already read Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, and I've read all of Mob Psycho, and I've also caught up on Spy Family. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's a lot.
Manga for me, I used to like manga. I feel like when I was a kid, when I was like always at Barnes and Noble, and I would always like pick up like Fruits Basket or like Inuyasha or whatever was
Boys
there.
Over Flowers.
Yeah.
All the shoujo manga.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then I feel like these days I definitely enjoy anime more.
It is very funny because I'm sure you've seen like the gatekeeping in the anime where they're like, girls don't really watch anime. Like, just the same thing they do the women that play video games. But what's really funny is that the reason why anime and manga got so big in the US is because of shoujo. Like Fruits Baskets, Boys Over Flowers, stuff like that. Like, so really women are the reason why anime has gotten so big. And then obviously when shonen came in and boys started getting it, then they kind of took over, which is fine. But it's always so funny to me, like when I grew up, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, all my friends that watched anime were girls and like my cousins and stuff. And
I mean, that's the same as me. I think even at high school, middle school, high school, I would always like all anime enjoyers were girls, actually, now that you mention it.
Yeah, and now I have like a huge, like most of my stream is very much in anime because most of my community came from my anime podcast, which I don't have anymore, but we have a new one now, EG, called Two Weebs in a Pod, and I'd love for you to be on it sometime, which you probably will be.
Definitely, yes. I'm so down.
Now that it's your job, you got to be on the show if you're listening, Taylor. But like also it's hard too because now everyone tracks their anime. They have like my anime list and shit.
Anime list, yeah.
Like I'm like, if I can remember everything I've watched in the last 20 years, maybe, but like
I know. I wish I kept track of it sooner, because like it's so intricate, like the form that you can fill out when you're like putting in the anime, like what day you started it, and then like how much you loved it midway, and I'm like, dang, this is worth it. Like like if I want to like recommend like friends to an anime or like something I've watched in the past, or they could even filter it through genre. It's like legit. I regret not starting one sooner.
Conspiracy theory Lisa is like, this is just a way for the government to track you. Now they're tracking you through the anime you watch and the games you play and the movies you've seen. Like like that's where my mind goes to. I started one and then it was like, you've seen 298. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to meet the 300 mark. We'll just end right here. We do not have to see any more that I've seen. But like, I actually have a list. I made a list in my phone of my favorite anime series, and I will, because I needed this for my podcast.
Read it out. Wait, read them out for me.
Oh, also, if people are interested in hearing my old anime podcast that ended in 2020, it's called Kawaii 5-0, and it's still on Spotify. And I'm actually really proud of it because when I get into something, I get really, really into it. Like, so like any episode we did on an anime, like we did a Haikyuu episode where my co-host and I came up with fantasy teams. Of the actual players in the manga and the anime, which is really great. But
Haikyuu.
I love Haikyuu.
Ooh, I love Haikyuu too.
I know. That's actually what got me to Run with the Wind, is because I heard like when there was like 8 episodes of Run with the Winds out there, like it's the same studio did Haikyuu, and it's kind of like, while you're waiting for season 3, like this is a good void type thing. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. But I have, obviously, like we talked about Gintama, Run with the Wind, Mob, all that, but I also have Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, obviously. I feel like that's everyone's go-to.
Yeah. I didn't give it a try until I think I watched it last year or 2 years ago. It was so good.
So many of my favorite anime are very sad. Like, I love Banana Fish. I
didn't watch Banana Fish yet. It's on my list, but I heard that it's just the saddest, like
it is I have seen every sad anime you can think of. I've probably seen it, like Your Lie in April, Anohana, whatever.
I stopped watching Your Lie in April because it was just too depressing for me. I stopped episode 2, I think, because it was just too much for me. So like, if you're saying Banana Fish is more than that, I don't know if I could watch it because so many of my viewers recommend Banana Fish. Like almost like every time I ask chat for like a new recommendation, someone always says Banana Fish. Like, it's so popular.
It is, but it's like, okay, so I watched all of Your Lie in April at first, and I bawled my eyes out. And then
Mhm.
I rewatched it years later and was like, this is like a cheesier version of Your Walk to Remember. Like, that was like my go-to. Like,
Your Walk to Remember.
remember Walk to Remember? That, oh my God, you might not know because you're a little younger, but it was a movie that came out like in the early 2000s with Mandy Moore, where she was like a cancer patient in high school and made the popular guy fall in love with her. It's yeah, somebody, you guys have seen it. Where it's so
I haven't seen it.
it's such a sad movie. She makes the most popular guy fall in love with her, and then she like dies of cancer. Like it's just like a sad fucking. Your Lie in April
Yeah.
is the cheesy anime poetic version of that, and I rewatched it and was like, how did this anime make me cry so much? No 12-year-old talks like this. Like that was my go-to. But Banana Fish, I watched it. I ended it at episode 10. I was like, this is too much. Like I cannot handle this. I finished it, and all I thought to myself is, this is one of the greatest anime I've seen that I will never watch again. Like that was like, it is totally
I
worth
have
to
to
watch.
check it out.
It
I want
will
to watch
it,
it.
it will might make you go to therapy. It is that sad.
It's
It-
that sad.
it's a different kind of sad though, because I feel like a lot of like sad anime, it's like they're pushing you to cry. Like how sadder can we make this music, or this dialogue? But like Banana Fish's story, I think hits on a more emotional level because it's based off like gangs in America. There's a lot of really, really disturbing themes to it, but it's so good. But I also am like, I don't recommend it to people because you're gonna hate me if you watch this. It's like how my friends recommended me The Last of Us. Have you played The Last of Us? Okay,
No.
don't. I played it for 4 hours and it broke my heart. And I was like, I have to continue playing this. I cried in the first 10 minutes. Like it's those things where it's
Yeah.
like, thank you for recommending this to me, but also I hate you. Like
Is it a solo player game?
I think you can do co-op, but it is solo player. It kind of has
sad.
like that third person perspective cam, and it's a survival horror. I do not play survival horror games or horror games in general, and so far that's like all I've been playing. So I'm definitely stepping out of my comfort zone. So maybe Valorant will be on the list, or Fortnite.
Yes,
I would play
it's good.
I would play Fortnite before Valorant because in order for me to play first person games, I have to take like Dramamine or some kind of anti-nausea because it just I don't know if it's me being in my 30s or what, but I cannot handle first person. VR fucked that
Yeah.
up for me. I blame VR doing that, honestly.
Do you play games on VR?
I used to like with my friends, and then after a while I'm like, I can't do this. It hurts my brain.
I play VR chat sometimes with friends. It's so fun.
My mod right now is like, I'm gonna make you play a first person game. They will try. They want me to play Fortnite really bad. I'm like, we'll see. All right, let's see. So obviously, I have Gurren Lagann. Were you ever into Gurren Lagann?
I didn't try it at all.
I want to hear
But
some
I
of
know it's-
yours.
I know it's
now.
up on people's list. My list. So I personally really loved. I know I mentioned it before, but I love talking about Sword Art Online. I know a lot of people. I personally didn't know that people hated it so much, or that it was such a controversial topic.
It's
until I
because
mentioned
it's
it.
kind of switched themes after like 13 episodes.
Yeah,
And
that's very true. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like maybe it was. I think the beginning just really hit it for me. Like I really loved the
Oh
beginning.
yeah, the first
And
10
I-
episodes of that anime are some of the greatest I've ever been. And
Yeah,
then by
I
the end, I was like,
desperately-
oh.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. The beginning was like the best part for me. It's a good one. Do you know? You probably never heard of these. Like Nodame Cantabile. I think that's how they pronounce it. Nobodame Cantabile. I think in English, it's like a music. I like musical animes as well.
Oh, I like the only
Yeah.
musical ones I've seen is I seen Kids on the Slope, which is the
Kids
guy
on the Slope?
who is the same guy who did Cowboy Bebop and like Samurai Champloo and all those. That director does a lot of
Oh, Cowboy. Oh yeah.
like he
Cowboy
does a lot
Bebop.
of like music kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of it because I loved the music aspect and turned into a romance anime. I was like, no, go back to the music. And then
Well, actually,
yeah.
Nodame Cantabile is kind of a little romance with the musical aspect. And then there's also Yumero Patissiere. It's like a wholesome baking anime. I mentioned that one a lot. I really love that one.
Wait, what's it
Um,
called? I'm about to start
let me
watching.
type it. It's so good.
I
It's
had
it's it's like very it's wholesome. It's very
you
wholesome. I love it.
Pastia. Oh, it's like
But
French.
yeah.
I
It's like a baking thing
I
where
had a
like
I was gonna say I had a guest on a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, who told me about a bread anime, but it's like a comedy one. I'm gonna watch that, but I will watch this one.
ooh, you should watch well, this one's a little older. I think I episodes were still season 2 was coming out when I was in like high school or college. But it's very different from Food Wars. Like
I love Food Wars though. I will be that
I
person who's
no,
like
I love it for
I
sure,
I
but
I read all the manga too and did not like how it ended, but I those first 3 seasons of Food Wars are still some of my favorite I've ever seen.
yeah, I didn't finish it, but I it's not like a lewd food and
They don't have
food
orgasms
anime.
from eating
No.
ramen. Okay.
No, it's like very wholesome, very family friendly show. I think also I just really like it probably because of just that nostalgia factor as well. But trying to think. I mean, the classics for me like Naruto, I really loved. Hunter x
Naruto.
Hunter. I feel like recently. Oh, I also really liked My Hero Academia, but I stopped watching. Um, when did I stop watching that?
It's okay. I'm caught up in the
It just got
manga and
so
and it
it
feels
got
like a chore.
so many fillers. Oh, it was the fillers I think that got me, and I just like couldn't get through them. Um, but
I will
yeah.
say this current season I haven't watched, but I can tell right now it's probably the best one there is,
Oh,
because this is
really?
like the peak of the manga, and I'll get into it, but it's definitely taken a turn that I'm not happy with, because like were you ever into Demon Slayer? Were you ever into the
I was just gonna mention that one next.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, you probably feel this as well because you watched all of Naruto. So
Mm-hmm.
now, anytime you watch an anime that's like that, you compare it to Naruto immediately. Like, to me, I'm like, Demon
Yeah.
Slayer is just Naruto with demons. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was
Uh,
just like that's how I like always go to. It's like it's not the
that's
same
true.
story,
Less
but
intricate. Yeah.
yeah, like
I
it's
think.
like Naruto created a world that, like, even though like I'm also kind of disappointed with how Naruto ended, it created a world that set the tone and the standard for me when it comes to shonen. So like any other
Mhm.
thing that comes out that's like it, I automatically would compare it. It's like Naruto was my high school boyfriend, and now every boyfriend ever is gonna be compared to. No, just kidding. But like that's
Yeah.
how it was. It's like they were my gateway to anime, and so anytime I watch a new shonen or read a new shonen, and if it's too much like Naruto, I get upset. So that's kind of how I feel
Yeah.
about like My Hero and Demon Slayer. It's like they started off so good, and then they started to become Naruto. Like it's like
Yeah.
Naruto was already. That's why Gintama is my favorite, because it's like they're already like in their late 20s, early 30s. Like they can't be
Mhm.
Naruto. They're past Naruto. It's
Even if they want to be.
like it's like Naruto lost the war and then aliens took over Japan. Like that's what
Yeah.
Gintama is. But yeah,
True.
it is tough. And that's probably the same with Sword Art Online, is that Sword Art Online, at least for me, set the standards for a lot of isekai, because it was the first one I ever watched.
Hmm.
And so I naturally compare so many of them to that. I mean, not like the really goofy ones, like where you're reincarnated as like a microwave or whatever, but like
Yeah.
like the really basic ones really set the tone for me as far as like SAO goes. And
Yeah. Same with Run It with the Wind, having college age characters was refreshing. That's
yeah,
I completely agree with that. I feel like these days it's harder to relate to characters in anime. I think the one of the reasons why I loved like Fruits Basket growing up, it's because I was the same age as them. And now I'm just like, can I really relate to Deku like wanting to punch this kid? Like I don't know, like I not that you have to like
right.
relate to everything, but I don't know. I think that the audience is they're still appealing to a lot younger of an audience, but yeah.
That's why I liked Run with the Wind, because it's like, oh, they're in their mid 20s. Like, yeah, like I'm
They're like
33.
me.
Like I don't care if like so much
Yeah.
anime is made for like young Japanese boys. So it's like your life is going to be over by 18 if you don't save the world. Like, and it's like, no, it's not. My life didn't start until I was 30. Like, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
hard because so much anime is catered to younger audiences. So that's why a lot of my favorite anime, like Hunter x Hunter, it's like you have two protagonists that are 12 years old, but literally everyone else in that, there's no other person in that anime that's their age. Except
Yeah,
for that
they're all
one little
older.
karate kid they fought in the Heavens Arena. Everyone else is like
Yeah.
30, which is great. Like if the big focus isn't, if you don't have everything figured out by the time you're 18, your life is over, then I will like it. But most anime is like, it's made for young kids, so it's gonna, which is also really funny for people who are critical of anime, because they'll be like, oh, they could have gotten so much more gorier and darker. I'm like, this is made for a 12-year-old. You're a
Yeah.
30-year-old man. Like, you should not be upset at this, you know?
Yeah.
Which is funny because, like, you said you were watching Chainsaw Man?
Yeah, I'm not caught up. I watched the first 2 episodes, but I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
So far.
like, it is really good. I hate being like, I like the manga better. Like, those type of people are annoying, but I'm gonna say that because it is a very good
I've heard that, yeah.
yeah, it's a very good adaptation though. But like, the anime doesn't focus around a 16-year-old kid trying to figure out his life. It's a 16-year-old kid who just got basically died and was reborn as a devil. And so I'm like, great, I don't have to wait for the moral message of this entire series. Like, Naruto's like,
Yeah.
friendship will save you from everything. Like that was Naruto.
That's kind of like Fairy Tale. If you watched Fairy Tale, it's like
Yep.
the power of friendship prevails.
And it's just like,
Nice.
ew. Sometimes your friends
It's
suck.
also
Also, you shouldn't be friends
True.
with people who are war criminals. Like, that was always the funniest thing about me with anime is like I remember, did you watched like you watched the pain arc, obviously, in Naruto. I would
Yes.
assume. It was
Yeah, I
always so
finished.
funny to me because like the pain arc to everyone was like the pinnacle of Naruto's greatness. But to me, it was like, why is he trying to be friends with a war criminal? This guy murdered people. Fucking kill him. Don't try to
No,
rebut. Like, I know how Pain Arc ends and doesn't end with
Yeah.
that, but it was the fact that it's like Naruto's giving him a hand and being like, "Your sensei, our sensei, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Fucking kill him! Like, kill him!
He's a war
like,
criminal.
like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Being friends with enemies? Like, they just murdered people. He murdered the entire town. And you're like, but there's a book about you and all this stuff, and it's like." And I always thought that
Yeah.
shit was so funny to me because it's like, I get like murder is bad, but like sometimes it's good. you
Yeah.
know, like yeah. But then there's also problematic things because I remember like Fruits Basket, there was like the whole like 24-year-old falling in love with a 16-year-old. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you
There's a
know.
lot of issues in anime, I would say, are kind of similar to those.
It's just funny too because like seeing a lot of people now, because anime definitely has gotten big in the last couple years. Like, I don't know if you knew this, but Walmart sells Yu Yu Hakusho t-shirts. I found that out the other day. You can
That's
buy.
surprising, but also, well, I guess I would think it would be like Naruto still or something, not Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I guess I think anime's just gotten so big now where it's like it's not even that people like anime anymore. It's just become an aesthetic.
Yeah,
Like
I think
yeah.
yeah, growing up it wasn't a cool thing to like, and I think it's nice that more people are getting into it. It's the same thing with like K-pop. When I was growing up, it was not popular. I was always made fun of. Like, I think it's now nice. Like, I still forget sometimes, like when I watch TV or I'm on TikTok, like how like different it is for kids growing up nowadays. I feel like nowadays it's more people are just more open to trying new things or whatever it is. But with K-pop, I feel like it's just become so big in the past few years, and same with anime that like I don't know. I wish I grew up in that kind of environment too, where like I could make friends who are like just not even just over the internet, but in school or like people with more interests aligned with me. But yeah,
K-pop
I think
K-pop is great because I grew up with like Backstreet Boys and like NSYNC, and to me K-pop is just the replacement of that. Because like we don't
Yeah.
have boy bands in America anymore. So now we have boy bands in K-pop.
Yeah, I feel like K-pop it's just gotten so big so fast, and when I like watch like TV and I see like BTS or someone who looks like me, like representation, I think it's really cool, and I love that it's getting bigger.
Oh, I love it. And I went to Korea back in 2018, and I remember in my hostel, I was staying in Seoul. I had a bunch of like younger girls in there.
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh, what brought you to Korea?" And all of them were like BTS. Now we want to learn Korean and Korean food. I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, weebs. Like I do, but but I was like literally in Japan because of anime, so I can't make fun of them. But at the
Yeah,
same time, it's like, yes, like fuck yeah, like
yeah.
getting these younger American kids to learn Korean and start making like
Cool.
my mom's Korean. Like I grew up eating Korean food and getting
Oh,
into Korean
really?
drama. Yeah, I mean
I
she's
didn't know you
half.
were half Korean.
Yeah, my mom. Well, she's half. I'm a fourth. But my
Oh, okay,
grandpa
okay.
was full Korean and really pushed
Gotcha.
Korean onto my mom, even though she like didn't care because like she didn't care. It's like whatever. My dad's
Mm,
a nerd, you know. But now that
mm.
I'm like I've gone to Korea a few times and I loved it, and like I make mainly Korean food now. It's my favorite type of cuisine. That she's like I regret not being more involved with my Korean side because you are so much more into
Yeah.
it. And it's
What's
like
your favorite Korean dish to make?
I make japchae from scratch with bulgogi.
Oh, I love japchae bulgogi. So
I will
good.
literally make it for all the EG crew. I use Asian pears, onions, and garlic as my marinade for my
You go
beef.
legit.
I go full legit. I go to H Mart once a week. I do, and I get the fresh kimchi. I get there in the morning, so I can get the best ones. And I've made my own kimchi before, but it just turned out as in spicy pickles. Like it was like this isn't
Yeah,
kimchi, but
it's
it
hard.
works.
Yeah.
I didn't bury it in the ground, you know, like I didn't do it the real way. But no, that representation is extremely important. Like obviously I can't relate because like I'm a mixture of everything. But like even seeing more women in video games or
Yeah.
people who aren't just fully white, I'm like, thank fucking God. You know what I mean? Like one of
Yeah.
my favorite things about Run with the Wind too was that they had Musa. They had the black character Musa, who was a transfer student, and was talking
Hmm.
about how
I remember, yeah.
a big theme was that everyone was so racist, thinking that he was going to be the best runner because he was black. But he was like, I'm not an athlete, and it's really racist for you to think that. And it's like, holy shit, seeing that kind of representation in anime out of all things is really important. But
Yeah. I feel like we would have seen that like 5, 10 years ago in anime at least. Or like them mentioning that.
oh yeah, like K-pop too. Like growing up, I never listened to K-pop because it wasn't big here. And now you can people backtrack and listen to bands that came out, 10, 20 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then they start to realize like, oh yeah, like this has been around forever and we're just now seeing it. And then I remember there was like controversy when I think it might have been Ellen DeGeneres, it makes sense, interviewed BTS and asked a bunch of very ignorant questions. Because there are like rules in K-pop, and you know this, like things that you don't ask about because
Yeah.
of the way the industry is structured. And she was unaware of that. It might have been her or a different host and got a lot of flack for it. And it's like, but that's the thing, is because we have not been exposed to this for so long, and now we are learning so much more about it. Yeah, she
Hmm.
was like asking them if they ever hooked up with their fans. Like it was like, what the fuck are you
Oh, I did
doing?
not see that.
Yeah, it was like, you don't ask any if you don't ask anybody that to begin with, but better yet,
Yeah.
the Korean pop industry, you definitely don't ask that. It was like really weird questions, and it just shows you like how ignorant we have been to this for so long. But it's also because we never really had exposed to it.
Yeah. I think people are learning fast, and I don't know, it's just cool that there could be like a Blackpink concert in New York, or I just think that's so cool
I
now.
want to
And
see them back so live
I
so
saw
bad.
the I saw them 2 years ago when they on their first world tour. I saw them in New York. It was very cool. Very, very cool.
Oh my god, I hate how much were tickets?
Back then tickets weren't I bought decent tickets, so they were like 250, but the cheapest ones you could get were like 75, I think. 75 to like $90. Now the starting ones are like 250, and if you want good ones they're like 500. That's why I didn't go this year, because I was like, it's a little pricey, and then also like traveling. It was just a lot, but I wish I got to see them again this year. Because
Oh
they're
my
well, they're on
god.
tour now. They're in Europe right now, I think.
Oh
They
my
just
god.
finished up London, I think.
I just spent $300 to go see Blink 182 next year, so I shouldn't like
Wait, when is this?
in
Next
June
year?
next year. But
Oh,
like I
June.
grew up with them. That's like my Rolling Stones. That's what my dad said. I'm like,
Yeah.
ew, don't make me feel old. But like I would love to see like I got into a rabbit hole with K-pop and watched like during the pandemic so many dance rehearsal videos because I was like,
Oh, yeah, those are so always fascinating
they're
because they're
so
so insane.
good.
Yeah.
And
Who's
like
your favorite artist?
out of all, I mean, if we're talking about K-pop, I'm very basic
K-pop.
bitch, but I love RM so much, and I listen to his solo music
Oh,
all the
BTS.
time. Oh my god, I'm also in love with him. So it's like, yeah, like if I could, I have a friend who works for the Korean broadcasting state, KBS, I think it's called.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and so he's got to meet them before because
Oh, I
he
bet.
helps bring out like programs and stuff, and it's really crazy because everyone who works there has like military style like housing, like they have like a
Hmm.
housing community to live in. I was like, this is weird, but I guess enjoy your random apartment next to your coworkers. But he was like, oh yeah, I gotta meet them. In my head I was like, can I meet them? He's like, you would get arrested if you showed
Can
up
you
there.
connect me?
Right, like, can you connect me?
Yeah,
And he's just like, yeah, security. They had like 30 security guards around them, Lisa. It's not
I
easy. It's like,
bet.
damn it, that would have been amazing. But what about you? Like, I'm sure you know way more than I do because I am very surface level K-pop.
For me,
Give me some Rex. Come on.
all right. So 21, my chat knows 21 is like my favorite all-time uh K-pop group. I was very, very, very obsessed. They disbanded 3 or 4 years ago when I was in college. That was a dark day for me. Very dark.
A dark day
Yeah,
for me.
I remember that day. It was a rainy day on campus, so it was very sad. I was like already depressed because of that, and then I just see a bunch of rain pouring, and I was like in my feels listening to their last song, which was called Goodbye, by the way.
Oh no! Of course it was. Oh my god! Get
Yeah,
out of
and
here.
they're my all-time favorite group. They brought in that whole girl crush concept for K-pop. Like there was before them, it was very like, like print, like poppy, very like innocent girl. Like I don't know, it was like very like that kind of music. And then 21 came out with like, you know, more like intense, not intense, but just that whole girl crush concept, and they were like owning that. So um yeah, 21, two, the number two, and then the letters NE and then one.
I have
They're from the same company as Blackpink actually, so like they're the OG Blackpink.
I'm literally looking them up right now. I
They're
have
awesome. I think you'd love them. I think you would actually like their music too.
I have a K-pop playlist that I made. There's Monsta X on here, and there's
Okay.
like Twice on here.
Twice,
There's a bunch
Twice.
of other ones on here too. That I'm like, I don't want to mispronounce people's names. I am not good
It's all
at.
good.
When I had my anime podcast, it was constant like you didn't say their name right. I'm like, I'm not Japanese, okay? I'm just reading names. I'm just trying
Yeah.
my hardest to speak. But no, I always can use new music recognition, especially K-pop, because it's just so happy. Like
It
it's just
is,
so it's such a it's like I need some I listen and play and watch so much depressing shit that I need things that aren't depressing. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Do you get to
I
go
feel
to
that.
have you been to Korea a lot? Like did you grow up there or
Yeah, I used to go to Korea every year actually before COVID. And then I stopped. I haven't been there since COVID ever happened. But I would go every year and visit family and um eat delicious food. I would just go
Mhm.
during the summer for a few weeks or a few months.
What's your
And yeah.
favorite city?
Seoul, yeah. I
I
think Seoul is really fun. Oh, how about you?
I loved Busan.
Busan's nice. Busan's nice
It
too. I
smells
just
like shit, but I love it.
Busan is it's like the Florida. It's very like sunny and I like the city, so it's like if you like the beach, Haeundae Beach is nice, and I think Busan's probably up there for me. But Seoul, I love like the food, the vibes, the
Mhm.
nightlife, just everything.
I will never like there's a lot of good Korean barbecue here in Washington because of a big Korean community, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have to drive a bit and it's really expensive. Like getting cheap Korean barbecue in Korea was like nothing is ever gonna top this.
Yeah.
like everywhere.
America, yeah, it's a lot more expensive in America.
I do like how the drinking games. I remember that in
The
Korea.
drinking games, like the soju. I mean,
Yep.
there's a lot, yeah.
Yeah. I did like an Asia. I went first time I went to Korea is because one of my best friends from high school got married to his college sweetheart who was Korean. So as
Mhm.
a surprise for his wedding, we all flew out to Korea to visit him.
Oh
But
wow.
none of us knew what to do. So we literally messaged him like 3 days before, like, hey, just let you know,
We're going to
congratulations.
Korea.
We're going to come to your wedding this weekend and we don't know what to do. And he was like, are you fucking, like, he was pissed. He was like, what? So like five
Like
of my,
3 days
yeah,
before.
like, right. Like five of my high school friends, like we all flew out there and he took us to like 5 different cities. I think what's someone starts with a D?
Daejeon?
Yeah. And then, Chanwon, is that it? Changwon?
Changwon, yeah.
Yeah, Changwon. We stayed there at Busan and in Seoul, and it was,
You like Busan the most?
yeah, I think for me it was like, because my arms are all covered in tattoos, I felt like Seoul, I got a lot of stares. Like, I felt my first, like, I'm uncomfortable being, like, I don't think people are comfortable with me being here type thing because it was a lot of business oriented places we went to. Busan felt very
Um,
young and vibrant in a lot of, like, drinking culture wise. And also, I dealt with a lot of creepy American dudes in Seoul.
I I don't have to deal with that, so this is
Yeah, yeah.
I'm learning.
It is
I'm
very,
learning a lot.
I did not realize, like, in Japan the tattoo culture is very like, yeah, like literally both, if you both my arms are like completely covered. So when I went, it was like, oh wow, like this is not like a normal thing here. And I think
Yeah.
just being like super tall and
Uh-huh.
mixed race, there was just a lot of things that I was like, oh, this is something I never experienced before. But
Yeah.
Busan, everyone was just so friendly. Everyone just sort of like
Really? I
walks.
would think Seoul would be like that because it's just like in the city and people are more like woke to stuff like that or more see it more often. That's
Yeah,
what I would think. But I guess it depends where you are in Seoul, like where like what's the occasion,
I've stayed.
stuff
I
like that.
mean, there's Hongdae, which was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get in a fight with somebody here. Like that was like, it was a
There's
lot
a lot of
of,
people.
yeah. There's a lot of people, and there was a lot of like foreigners there that were very creepy towards the Korean women, and I remember like having to like kind
Uh,
of step in for that.
oh, really?
Yeah, like I was
Oh
very
God.
protective of everyone around me. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think it was like the beachy vibes I was really into. I loved Itaewon. I thought Itaewon was really fun.
Itaewon's nice, yeah.
Yeah, but the food is just top
Food
notch.
is top tier. Like I love going to Japan too, and whenever I'm in Korea, I try to fly to Japan because they're so close. But I love Japanese food, but
It doesn't top it,
Korean food is just there's just I think more spice and uh like I like salty foods and like salty sweet. But like
right?
in even when I was taught well like even when I was in Japan like and I was talking to people they would say that they don't like how it's like there's only like in Japanese food it's like very sweet foods and then very like they say bland because not there's not much like spice. Like there aren't many like spicy Japanese foods.
Yeah.
So like I personally like Korean food a lot
You might
more.
know the name of the soup, but it changed my life. I never ate spicy food in my entire life. I was very like, oh, can I get 0 stars on everything? But I went to Korea. My friend took me this hole in the wall place and goes, you have to have the soup. I know you don't eat spicy food, but you have to eat it. And it's a really red soup with a giant pork bone in it. And it's the meat like falls off
Um,
the bone. It has a
I know
name.
what it is. I know what it is.
I was sweating bullets.
My dad loves it. You like that though?
Oh, I hated the spice because I was like
Oh,
putting
the
my
spice.
hair up, like wiping my forehead, eating it, but it was so good. And then from there, I was like, fuck it, I'm putting spicy and everything. I was like, I was training.
Hamjatang. That's what it's
Yes,
called.
yes. And I
There's
was,
potatoes in it, right?
yes. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's so good.
It was so good, but I was sweating
It's
pounds
so
of
spicy.
sweat because I was so, and my friend was like, it's worth it though. And it's like, I've had really spicy food that overshadows the flavor and it's not good, but like Korean spicy enhances it. And I was like,
Yeah,
the
it's like
pork was
the
unbelievable,
flavor.
but I wanted to
So
die.
good.
Because I also went,
Yeah.
yeah, I also went in like August when it was humid. So it's like, oh, I can't wait to go outside when it's fresh. I'm like, oh no, it's sweaty outside too. Uh,
Yeah. spicy food and heat doesn't mix well.
Yeah, but now like I'm excited to hopefully go back one day because like I did like an Asia trip and went to like Taiwan too, which also has incredibly spicy food. And I'm like, now that I'm leveled up in the spicy world, I can't wait to go back and like eat everything like a queen. Like it's
Yeah.
this is nothing.
You gotta train your taste buds here and then go.
Yeah, but no, Korean food is definitely like my number one. But yeah, hopefully I don't know. Maybe EG will do. Here I am suggesting maybe EG will do a Korea trip where we all go out.
Please.
Korea vlogging with our EG creators. No,
That'd
I
be
love
fun.
it. Also shopping. I will say this:
Shopping.
Korean men's clothes fit me better than any other style of clothes in the entire world. Better
Really?
than American women's clothes. I got when I was there, I bought 2 pairs of men's pants, men's shoes, and men's hoodies, and I was like, I am a Korean man. Like when it comes to clothes, Koreans.
You could borrow clothes from my my wardrobe.
Oh my god, like unbelievable how well Korean, because I'm 5'10", 5'11", like that is like a Korean man, and everything's form fitting there. Like so much men's clothes is very loose, like everything there is so form fitting. Like when I discovered Uniqlo and then they brought Uniqlo here, I was like, oh my god, this is my life. But like so much of my wardrobe was just men's Korean clothes forever. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was gonna say though, we are out of time, even though we still didn't talk about all the anime.
I know you have to invite me to your anime thing.
Our anime. It's an EG anime podcast, so we'll definitely have to have you on it. And I also didn't get to see your cats, but it's okay because I'll just creep. I'll just creep
on my Twitter.
I will creep on your Twitter and your stream now that we are best buddies, because there's nothing more I love than good cat content. I will say thank you so much, Josh, for joining us today. Thank you for having me. Thank you, because you brought your wonderful community here, even though I had to force them to follow me. You guys can all unfollow me in 5 minutes. It's totally fine. I just
no, do not unfollow. This is a weekly thing. Come to everyone.
I will never stream Valorant, but I promise I will have fun, and I'm sure my community. Actually, there was a few people from my community that really love your content that messaged me. So I was happy to have our worlds collide in some way. But
yeah, that's awesome.
Josh, I am so happy that you're with EG, and I know Taylor knows. There's next year is gonna be. We're probably gonna be doing a lot of content together. I will be writing a lot of the content too, so now I have an idea of what I want to do. Ooh, now that I got to know you for a couple hours. And for those who are interested in watching another Lisa's Lair, I have it every Monday. We only have one more this month before the new year. And then everyone, please go follow Josh, not just on Twitch, but on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all of this. You can see his ragdoll and his orange tabby. And honestly, that's all I want is to see more cats. So anyways, thank you so much everyone for joining. Shout out to Josh for your wonderful guest. Shout out to Elysian for sponsoring us with the wonderful Spaceless IPA, and I will see everyone next week, hopefully. So
thanks for having me. Bye, chat. Bye, Lisa.
Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Have a good night.